Hi kids, hope you're all well and welcome to another one of Emma's Snippets. So I thought today we'd discuss being an introvert, especially in meetings. So being an introvert when you're surrounded by extroverts is not easy, right? Because in your home life, you can choose the people that surround you. You can choose your friends, you can choose your partner, you can choose your lover, etc., etc. And they can be people that understand, how you work, how you think, give you the space you need. Perhaps you're with an extrovert and they do all the talking, but that suits you absolutely fine. I'm in that situation. I'm the extrovert and he's quite quiet. Or possibly you're with another introvert and you completely get each other and there's plenty of opportunity to speak up when you need to and you feel safe and trusted. All well and good at home or in friendship groups, but in other situations where you're forced into an environment, say team meetings or places like that, it can be really difficult if you're an introvert and you have something to say. So let's picture the scene. You're in a meeting, it's a typical team meeting. These are people you are fond of and you like, but you just don't work like them. And there are people in that room that are so forward and so loud and they're so quick. They're so quick to get in with their opinions or what they think. They railroad other people in the room and somehow it doesn't seem to bother them. They're all kind of jostling together and they're all okay with it. And you're sitting there and you're thinking, I've got something to say. I've got something to add, and you patiently wait for your moment, and eventually either you give up because you can't find the time to butt in or to get your information across, or you do speak up. It's taken you a while, you've got yourself all into it, you've put it out there, and then one of the extroverts has either spoken over you or someone's gone, yeah, great, and then it's just gone off at lightning speed and you've been feeling like you're behind again, which is really frustrating because you know what you're talking about and no one's bloody listening. So if that sounds familiar, let's go through a few things for you to consider how to communicate in that situation as an introvert. Now, the first thing to say is do not try to be anything other than yourself. Any videos or any advice that says to you what you need to do is suck it up, stand up and outshout them is not doing you any favours. Okay, you are who you are and you're built the way you're built for a reason. It suits you, it suits your lifestyle. It may feel like sometimes the way you think and feel is a detriment to you, but it's not. What you need to do is, first of all, stop and think about what are the attributes of being the introvert in that room. Now, the first thing I'll point out is you absolutely listen better than any of those extroverts. You see the dynamic, you see what's going on, you see how they jostle, you see how they take things off in a tangent rather than be wrong or just to be heard. You see how everyone means well, but there's just this furore around everything that isn't necessarily helpful. So you see that. That's your strength, okay? Don't be afraid to use that to your advantage. Watch, listen, pay attention, because I don't know if you've seen my videos before about communication illusion and the art of listening. If you can listen and absorb everything that's going on, your information is far greater than everybody else's and you can come from a higher, stronger position. So use that to your advantage. Now, it might be that you do need to learn to butt in, and there are times when butting in is necessary. It's not easy. It's a learned experience and you can learn to do it. But it's not always the case. It's not always necessary. Okay, sometimes you do need to be heard. And perhaps you need to discuss with your manager or your director or whoever leads these meetings aside separately and say, sometimes I have things to add and I find it quite hard to pipe up. So if I give you a signal, could you give me the room? Something like that. Get someone on side. That's one way you can do it. The other thing is to get training on confidence and resilience and finding the time and the ability to just find the moment to push in. And there will be a moment you'll be able to judge the dynamics in the room and you'll have those skills from sitting there watching. But perhaps that doesn't work for you, or perhaps sometimes it works for you and other times it doesn't. There is nothing wrong with afterwards sending an email. There's nothing wrong with afterwards going up to separate people. There's nothing wrong with any of that. But one thing I would suggest, if possible, if you have the relationship with the people around you and your team is close-knit enough, is that you talk to whoever it is that's supposed to chair these meetings and you suggest that perhaps what they could do is structure it so that there is space for everybody to talk. If there is space for everybody to talk and you want to talk, you can. That doesn't mean you have to talk. If we go around the room and it's your turn, you can say, nothing from me today, thank you. Totally okay, but you've got that space. You don't have to fight for it. That's another option. The other thing I would say to you is trust your gut. Okay, you know this stuff, you know what suits you, and even extroverts need downtime. Just because they're fighting it out doesn't mean that's not draining their energy. Okay, try and understand where they're coming from as much as you want them to understand you. You guys aren't enemies. You're just different ways of working. And their quick thinking is very helpful in many situations. And you're taking it in and processing and keeping quiet is also very beneficial. Also, the loudest person in the room is not the strongest. And anybody with any sense and anybody with any understanding of dynamics and power often reads that, okay? Usually the person being the loudest comes off as a bit desperate. Now, if you watch your own body language and you want to give off a position of power, if you just relax back with good eye contact, square on, and you just relax back and you listen in with either a blank or neutral face or the odd smile, you will look powerful. Don't assume just because you're quiet that you are lost. You are not. There are people there who will see you as powerful and they will respect your opinion when you do talk up. It's all about body language. It's all about presence. If you remember that you are powerful, that what you have to say matters and you do not need to share anything until the time that it suits you to share it, if you remember that, then you will give off that image, that impression of power and strength. You don't have to be loud to rule the room. You don't. So just remember all that. Remember the main thing, know yourself and use that to your strength. That is what is important here. Whatever you do will work for you if it's authentic and you do it properly. Hopefully that helps. It's another one of Emma's snippets. If there's any of these you want me to discuss or any ideas you have, drop me a DM. I'm always open to have a chat. Just because you talk to me does not mean I'm going to try and sign you up as a client. I genuinely enjoy talking to people. So always come by and see me. Hope everyone's good. Snippy out. Bye, kids.